The recession is here, and I know along with this means there are many people that are feeling uneasy and nervous about what the economy holds in the future. The unfortunate reality is that over the last 2 years, it's been relatively easy to make money, because the United States, for the most part, was pretty flush with cash. Between stimulus payments, a skyrocketing stock market, crypto going to the moon, many people made a ton of money. But unfortunately, these days are at least temporarily over, and for the most part, the economic outlook looks much more bleak. Now, over the last few years, many people, including myself, have had a growth mindset. How can you grow and scale your income as quickly and efficiently as possible? But whenever we're in a time of a recession or an economic downturn, that mindset needs to shift from being a growth mindset to being a survival mindset. The new tagline isn't "how can we grow?" It's "how can we survive?" And survival during a recession can oftentimes be pinpointed to a handful of different decisions that you can make and continue to make over the next few years. These decisions will not only ensure your survival during the actual recession itself, but it will also ensure your success once that recession is in the rearview mirror. And the best part is, this advice is applicable whether you're somebody that owns a proper company, whether you're a solo entrepreneur, whether you have a side hustle, or if you have a car sharing fleet. Now, I've heard it, I know that you've heard it, cash is king, and this is especially true during a recession. Keeping generous amounts of cash reserves in your bank account and on hand is going to be crucial in helping you keep your business afloat for the next few years. Do you operate a peer-to-peer business like Turo or Airbnb? Make sure to have cash on hand to fix your cars or fix your properties if something comes up. Do you drive for drive-sharing services? Make sure that you have cash on hand to fix your car if something breaks. Do you have an e-commerce-based business? Make sure to have cash available. That way you can reinvest that cash into the business in case your sales begin to slump. Whenever you run out of operating cash, your opportunities and your options end up becoming quickly limited. If you look at companies, entrepreneurs, or businesses that experience a recession and not only survive, but actually come out more successful afterwards, more often than not, these similarities come down to having cash on hand and available when needed. Whenever you have cash, you have the ability to pivot and adjust your business model whenever you need to. You also have the ability to absorb any types of hardships or bumps in the roads that you may run into. This gives you a lot more flexibility and allows for you to adjust much more than you would be able to if you had no cash available. Cash is an absolute game changer whenever it comes to running your business, and it's important that you really start prioritizing this as we head into this recession. In some cases, it may be necessary and worthwhile evaluating how you can pivot your business model in order to be more successful during a recession. Because the thing is, not all businesses just merely survive during a recession. Some businesses really thrive and end up becoming incredibly successful because of the opportunities that a recession brings them. Grocery stores, the candy industry, beer, wine, and liquor, discount retailers, the child and pet industry, repair and maintenance-based businesses. These are just a handful of businesses that have historically done extremely well during a recession. Now, I'm not saying that you should necessarily go out and start a beer, wine, and liquor store or a pet store or a child store, but what I am saying is that there are always industries that thrive, regardless of how doom and gloom everything looks. So whenever it comes to running a business during a recession, I think it's worthwhile looking at these different opportunities and trying to see how you can incorporate a recession-proof industry into what you're already doing. And these pivots in industries aren't limited to what I just mentioned here. There are a lot of more modern ways to go about doing this extremely effectively. For example, if you have a car sharing fleet and you rent out a lot of expensive, higher-end luxury cars, it may be worthwhile to sell a couple of those cars and maybe rent out some lower-end economy cars or cars targeted towards families. These are cars that I thoroughly believe will do well throughout the recession, while I think high-end luxury might end up floundering. Another example of this could be starting a new business or adding an additional facet of your business that is a free product or a free service. And what I mean by this is mainly content creation or traffic-based businesses. For example, YouTube and TikTok are perfect examples of this. I make quite a lot of money from YouTube, and I also make money from TikTok. But whenever you watch my YouTube videos or watch my TikTok, you're not buying anything from me. I don't have to convince you to spend money in order for me to make money. All I have to do is get you to spend a little bit of time watching my videos each and every week, and as a result, I'm paid out for that. And though these industries can be affected by a recession, for example, lower ad rates and lower ad revenue for the creator, it can still be a really great way for you to explore different revenue streams where you won't have to convince anybody to buy a product or buy a service. There are always going to be ways to make money in this type of industry. And if you can figure out a way to incorporate this into your current business model, I think that that is an excellent thing to pursue and explore. Because the reality is, regardless of what's happening with somebody's finances or job situation or personal life, they're still going to want to consume content. So you can be the person that creates that content that they then consume. And again, this could be anything. I think this YouTube channel is a good example of that because I started my Turo fleet and then I decided to make a YouTube channel based on that Turo fleet, and now I make money from both. But it certainly isn't limited to car sharing, and you can do this exact same thing with whatever you're currently doing, but with your own personal spin. This is an interesting one because whenever you look online how to survive a recession, there's typically the same cookie cutter advice. Save money, cut expenses, and cross your fingers and hope for the best. But at the same time, if you're anything like me, you've also heard a dozen, if not hundreds of different times that wealth is built during a recession. And in many ways, these two ideologies completely contradict one another, because how are you supposed to invest and build your wealth if at the same time you're supposed to be hoarding cash? And the truth is, there's quite the balancing act between these two belief systems, because if you do this properly, you can come out of a recession ahead and you can build your wealth quite a lot. But if you do this incorrectly, you could cause quite a lot of harm to your financial situation and to your business as a whole. And to be honest, I don't really know what that perfect balance looks like. But I do believe that over the next couple of years, it's important to keep this balance in mind, to try to avoid the shiny object syndrome where you're looking at every opportunity and everything as the next idea that will make you a millionaire, but at the same time being able to recognize whenever an opportunity is a real viable route to pursue. It's the difference between finding a proper business opportunity versus signing up for a get-rich-quick scheme. And to be able to recognize and differentiate between these opportunities is going to be incredibly important to your growth during a recession. Over the last 6 months, I've been making a lot of TikToks almost every single day. And on TikTok, I almost exclusively cover product and business failures. Why do products fail? Why do businesses fail? And ultimately, what led to different companies' demise? And one thing that I've learned in researching hundreds of different companies and products that have failed over the last 100 years is companies fail because they fail to pivot. They fail to pivot when new tech and other companies are starting to take off. They fail to pivot when new customer habits begin to take place. And more often than not, companies fail to pivot because they don't have the cash in order to do so properly. Keep cash on hand, keep your eyes peeled for new opportunities, and recognize when those opportunities are worth pivoting to. Shiny object syndrome is a real threat, and being able to balance the act of avoiding shiny object syndrome while still being able to recognize new opportunities and new areas where you can adjust your business model, that's going to be a difficult but crucial balance to find. But you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear it. So make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.